Hi everybody! Today I'm going to be making some Miniverse miniature recipe books. I had several of the little collector's guides pretty much everywhere around my Miniverse area, and I thought it would be neat to make these into a book, and they turned out, so I really wanted to share this with you. This one here was the Lifestyle Series 1, and I already started also making the Miniverse Cafe and Diner Series 1 as well. I added some popcorn cardstock. These are the recipes. I combined the series because I felt that it was a waste of space not combining them. But let me show you everything that you will need. We need some scissors. We also need some clips. These clips I got at Dollar Tree, but any clip really works. It could even be like a potato bag clip, anything that will help you hold your recipes together in place, and you'll need some cardboard. You're going to need two identical cardboard pieces. The measurements that I used was 2 by 2.75. You'll need two. And you're going to need a third piece of cardboard. The height does have to match the rest, so 2.75, but the thickness is going to depend on how many recipes you put in your book. Next, you'll need something to decorate your book with if you want to. I personally like very simple things, so I did a label with the label maker. You're going to need, this is tulle. I'm pretty sure there's sophisticated and better things to use to make books, but I'm not an expert and this is what worked for me. You'll also need a ruler. I used vinyl because that is what I thought of, but maybe you could use some cloth, maybe you could use some cardstock. You'll also need cardstock, but to decorate the inner parts of the covers, I really liked this little polka dot design, and I used this to help build the counters, but you could use, this is just an additional thing, it's optional. For the vinyl, you're going to need a piece that is approximately 4 inches by 6 inches, give or take. The vinyl is from Hobby Lobby, the 405 Basics, and it was, I think, $4.99. This one was the least expensive one, but I really didn't want to invest in any other one without knowing if my idea would even work. But what we need to do is just eyeball where we want to place these. These do have to be as straight as you can make them, simply because, of course, we don't want our books to turn out too crooked, right? I know there's fancy tools that you could use to know where to place these, but I don't have any of those fancy things, so I'm just going to eyeball it. Once you do that, you just need to cut the corners like this, and this is just going to help when we go ahead and bend the vinyl to cover the cardboard. So what I do is I just take the ends and flip them down a little bit to create that straight line, and you're just going to do that with all of the sides, just like this. Once you have gone ahead and folded the vinyl into the cardboard, we need to make sure we cover the center part. We want to make sure that it's nice and sturdy and that it's not going to tear easily. You could skip this step if you wanted to, but this really helps just make it last a little bit longer. I got the little squeegee that we use for the counters to go ahead and help me just make sure to ensure that everything is nicely stuck and nice and crisp. So I'm going to use the other end of it just to make the center folds. Now, as you could see, it's starting to take that book shape. To cover the inner part of the book, I really wanted to use cardstock because I felt that the thickness of the cardstock was just right to make it a little bit sturdier. All you need to do is flip over your cardstock, put in this part of the book laying down, and trace it. That's how you'll get the measurement that you need. Really, this is as simple as it gets, right? Just cut this piece out, and then I forgot to mention this, we're going to need glue. You will need some tacky glue. I got this one at Hobby Lobby for $2.99, but I have seen similar sizes in Dollar Tree for $1.25 plus tax. And all I'm doing here is adding some of the tacky glue. This one was extremely thick, as it says there. It was really hard to take it out of the bottle, so maybe regular tacky glue would work best. I'm going to be using our little tool here just to help me mark those indentations on our book. We really want to do this step because this is where we're going to add our recipe, so we need it to be really nicely covered or indented. I'm sorry. Let me make sure everything is nice and flat, sticking together. Once we do this, then we're ready to start thinking of our recipes. So we're gonna set this aside, and now we need to grab our recipes. You need to cut out every single recipe. Try to be as even as you can, but if it's not, don't sweat it. It's okay, don't worry, it'll work out. Just make sure that the part that will have the glue is straight. Everything else really won't matter. Once you have everything ready, you could add a cover sheet if you want, like I did. You're going to add some of your tacky glue. I'm using a little brush just to help me make sure I don't miss any place. Giving it a nice coat, just like this. I do have to say the glue that I used dried super fast. I want to say within 2 minutes. I don't know if the climate of your home will have anything to do with the speed of it drying, but mine dried super fast. So I'm ready for the second coat. I'm just again trying to make sure everything is nicely covered. And after this step, I did go ahead and added the piece of tulle before it dried. This is just to make sure that everything has more support, that it gets to really stay together. Once it dries, we're going to remove the clips and we're going to trim down any excess tulle that you may have. Just like this. I just need one more side. After this, I am going to add more tacky glue onto the side that is going to be glued into the book. So just make sure you have it the right way. We don't want our book to be backwards. Nothing is falling off, no pages are coming apart. So we're definitely ready to add more of the glue and stick it onto our cover. You could see here how hard it is to really pour some glue out of this container. And I just think it's because of the consistency of it. I'm making sure it's nicely centered, or as best as I can. I eyeball everything. I really don't stress about it. I really don't want to stress because I feel like sometimes that could take the fun out of things. But I know of a lot of individuals that have fun really having everything in place, in order. So whatever makes you happy, you go with that, okay? Do it your way, modify it, tweak it. It's yours. So whatever you want to do, you can do. Here I used the little label maker that I have to print out these little pieces, which I'm going to use as a decoration. Really, I wanted something very simple, clean, and I think this did the trick. So this is what our little book turned out to look like. You could definitely, I think, make it a little bit smaller. This was just the sizing that I tried for the first time. But I think if I make some more, I would make them just a tiny bit smaller. But other than that, I think they came out great. What do you think? Let me share with you one last quick look of how these turned out. If this is something that you're interested in making, or you do decide to make, please don't forget to share with me how it turned out. I would love to see your creations. If you share these with your friends, please don't forget to mention me. Let them know where you saw it. That way they can also join our Miniverse family if they want. But I really enjoyed making this project. I think there's a lot of potential. Of course, making these the first time, there's things I would tweak, but that would be for next time. For now, let me know which one was your favorite. Did you like the Miniverse recipes, diner and cafe series 1, 2, or lifestyle? Thank you for joining me. Bye, everybody.